Welcome to another Mead review. Today is a momentous one for me, mainly because this is one of my oldest meads I've ever made. This is my cherry mead, and it was made on August 14th, 2017. So we're almost at 3 years. Now I'm choosing this one because I wanted to do a mead review, and I have a box of things that I want to drink over time like this and let them age. So I just pulled this out of the box. I'm actually about to make a nice dinner for my girlfriend and myself. So I figured this thing would go well with a steak dinner. And I guess I'll find out here in a bit. But let's go ahead and test this bad boy. I'll throw the recipe up on the screen too for what this was. I did not take an initial gravity reading of this thing. I recall that very vividly, so I don't know what percent it's at. I believe it's probably roughly around 13%, but that's a guesstimation because I didn't take a gravity reading. It obviously has had lots of time to age, and I think that's going to help it all the flavors meld. Obviously, thyme in wine, thyme in mead are often kind of best friends. So yeah, normally when I do these reviews, I will do a score sheet for the mead. I'm not going to do that with my personal meads. I only do that with the commercial meads. So my other mead reviews that you'll see on the channel, I have, of course, those score sheets. So let's go ahead and pour some. You can see, I think there was a little bit of sediment here at the bottom. There was, I think it got stirred up in the moving process. Obviously, we already see the color of it because this is a clear. Oh, this thing looks like a really nice wine. It's not super clear, which is okay. It definitely has no carbonation, thankfully. Yeah, it smells like a red wine. And it has a very interesting. It still has floral. It has some floral notes on top of like an earthy smell. It doesn't smell like sour cherries. I can't remember what kind of cherries I used. I remember I pitted a bunch of cherries, and it was a huge pain. So, of course, I put the recipe. It'll be down in the description too. But they're definitely not sour cherries. They're definitely sweet. Yeah. It smells very smooth. I'm not getting any burn. I'd hope after 3 years that I wouldn't get a lot of burn. Okay. Very full-bodied. It's not necessarily sweet. It's definitely dry. But what's nice about it is that while I know that this thing fermented out completely, because I believe I used a Lalvin product that at least got up to 13%, it definitely tastes dry. But there's some honey character or sweetness, some floral notes that are kind of supporting the dry factor. Man, I believe this was mead number like 5 or 6 maybe. This thing has really aged well. I did not put any sulfites, any sorbates, or anything in here to stabilize, to do anything like that. Has a really nice finish, very smooth finish. It's very flavorful. You get a rounded cherry character and taste. So one problem with using cherries in a lot of brewing is that it can sometimes taste kind of like a medicine. And you get the medicinal side. If you've ever had anything that's cherry flavored medicine, it kind of sticks with you. And that's kind of one thing that I have noticed in other cherry meads I've made. This one doesn't have that. It just has a nice rounded cherry character flavor. It's definitely not tart. It's sweet cherries. So I'm getting, I'll call it a solid collaboration between the honey, which was a Desert Creek, like a wildflower honey, I believe. And so it has more floral notes. It's a darker honey in general. It provided more body to this. I don't recall if I put the cherries in the primary or secondary. Yeah, it's hard to honestly hard to pull some of these bottles out because I've been sitting on them for so long, and like this one's almost 3 years old now, and you know, at some point you have to just decide, okay, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to try it. The great thing is I get to share with you guys how these things have turned out. And I always want to be very real to say, turned out good, turned out bad. I think this thing turned out pretty good. It definitely, time has helped it quite a bit. I can't recall the last time I tasted it. It's got to have been a couple years, 2 years at least. And I believe that if I sulfited it, I could probably preserve it for even longer. I do believe that this bottle could have sat for probably another 5 years and been fine because it was corked and there was no chance of air getting in. It was corked with synthetic corks, so that definitely, these things really don't have to be stored in a particular way, and I like them quite a bit. So this is pretty good. It's not my favorite mead. I will say that it has some problems. I do wish it were just the tiniest bit sweeter. And maybe not so much, I don't want more sweet, I want more honey present. I would like the mead to display more floral notes, and if I could pick a different honey, I do think that a mesquite honey could have been a really good pairing with this cherry side. I love a good mesquite honey. I also like a good avocado blossom honey. So those are two options I think could really pair well with a cherry mead. And I would love to know down in the comments, maybe you've made a cherry mead before. What are some recommendations for honeys that pair well with a cherry? Obviously, there are things that go well, things that don't go well. I do believe that any honey should have a good amount of sweetness, one, because it's just honey in general, but also you should be getting notes of at least floral side, because that's what most of honey is. And then from there that branches off into a million categories of, is it mesquite honey, so it has smoky side? Is it alfalfa blossom, so it's even more floral? All those notes, don't want to get there. But leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of honey you think would pair well in this case. So unfortunately, I don't know how many more bottles of this cherry mead I have. I think I might have opened up my last little wine bottle like this, and that's a bummer because it just means in the future I won't have more to age. I think I have a big bottle of it, like a full wine bottle of it somewhere, and eventually I'd like to try that one. But maybe I'll let it age for a little while longer. The point of all of this, if you age your meads, you will find that they taste better over time. And there's no magic to this. Basically what happens is when you're aging them, you're letting the generally flavors meld together better. You're also allowing for things like a high ABV mead that has a lot of burn to kind of simmer down, so to speak, and become more palpable. Like if you have an 18% mead, it's going to need more time. You're not going to be able to drink that thing, I'll say comfortably, quote, after 3 months, because 18% is high ABV. The lower ABV your mead, the higher chance you can drink it earlier on. So there's kind of how it works. Make sure you're aging your stuff. Put some bottles back. Do what I did. Just put some bottles back, put them in a box, and forget about them. Because in the future, you'll want to try them, and it's a lot of fun to taste test your stuff years later if you can wait that long. So this has been really good. I am going to be back with, of course, more of my own mead reviews. I'll be doing commercial mead reviews and various other things like that. So I hope you will tune in for those. Let me know if you're a fan of the main channel. Let me know what's a mead that you want to see me taste test. I have made, I think, 90 plus meads now. A few beers along the way and a few wines along the way. But let me know, is there a specific mead that you remember me making that you would like for me to taste test in a situation like this? And of course, hopefully I'll have a bottle of it. But if not, I'll let you know. So let me know what you want to see. I hope you guys will tune in for another video in the future. And I'll see you next time. So with that, of course, cheers.